What's going on, everybody out in YouTube land, and welcome to another episode of GBA. In this episode, I'm going to go over my most recent video game pickups. I think it was probably about 2 weeks ago or so when I filmed my last pickups video, and I've already accumulated so many games I need to go ahead and film this so I can start putting these away. But yeah, so without further ado, since I have so many games to show, I'm just going to get into it and start showing some of these. I'm going to start out with the handheld systems, and a lot of these games I'm just going to go through really quick because I got so many of them. So first we'll start with some Game Boy Color games. So I only got 3 Game Boy Color games in this pickup video, and none of these are anything superb or anything. I just got them for really cheap. But first up we have Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Saves the Day. I loved the Tiny Toons when I was young, so I mean, if that's a platformer, I might actually play that a little bit. But next up we got Winnie the Pooh Adventures in the 100-Acre Wood. Once again, loved Winnie Pooh when I was young, so I figured why not, right? If it's cheap enough. So, last of the Game Boy Color games, we have Rugrats in Paris the Movie. I've got this game on several platforms, but who didn't like the Rugrats back in the 90s? Alright, so that's my 3 Game Boy Color games that I picked up in the last couple weeks. Alright, so sorry about that, these games are all falling over. But we'll show some Game Boy Advance games next. Like I said, I got quite a few of these. So first up we got Sonic Advance. Next up we've got Tom and Jerry Infernal Escape. Alright. Next up we have Sonic Advance 2. Then we have Crash Bandicoot 2 and Traced. We have Shaman King. There's some other words there, but they're too small for me to read. Alright, next up we've got Fairly Odd Parents Clash with the Anti-World. We've got BattleBots Design and Destroy. Then we've got a 2 games in 1. We've got SpongeBob's Super Sponge, and we got SpongeBob Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. We've got a couple more Game Boy Advance games over here. Alright, so this is actually a 4 games in 1. You've got SpongeBob, you've got Nicktoons Freeze Frame Frenzy, Fairly Odd Parents Shadow Showdown, and a Rocket Power League Gravity Zone, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's neat that they put 4 games on 1 cartridge, though. Alright, next up we have Cartoon Network's Block Party. We have Tattoo and the Staff of Dreams, I think. We have Crash Nitro Kart. We have Tokyo Extreme Racer Advance. We have Tony Hawk Underground 2. We have Disney's Lilo and Stitch. We have Frogger Adventures. And to round it off, we have Frogger Adventures 2. Alright, yeah, so I don't really know how many that is, but it's probably around 16 Game Boy Advance games that I added to the collection. I was debating on whether or not to show all you guys these Game Boy Advance games, but I figured why not if I just ran through them pretty fast. It is kind of neat, and you know, I did get some good stuff, that's for sure. Alright, so moving to another handheld system, a system I barely ever pick up games for. I got a couple of these Nintendo 3DS games. Interesting story on these. Neither one of these are high-priced games by no means, but I was actually in Five Below earlier today, and both of these games were $5, brand new sealed in Five Below. So if you guys have Five Belows where you're at, maybe go in there and see if you can pick these up, because I mean it's not bad to get these sealed games for $5. So first up I got The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. Brand new for $5. And I got Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. Brand new and sealed for $5. So I mean, yeah, not bad, $10. I mean, you can't really beat that, right? Moving right along, let's do some Switch games next. So the Switch, I pick up games regularly for the Switch. Two of these are actually limited run games. And then the third one was just super cheap, so I figured why not pick it up. So for the Switch, we have Big Buck Hunter Arcade. I think I paid like $12 for this game brand new. So, you know, why not? For $12, picking up a Switch game is a no-brainer for me at least. Alright, so the two limited run games that came in recently, probably both of these came in within the last week or so. We have the Dragon's Lair Trilogy for the Switch. I know this got released on the Wii as well, back, you know, a few years ago. But really happy to have this in my Nintendo Switch collection. And we also have Mama Dora Reverie Under the Moonlight. I probably just butchered that, so I apologize if this is one of your favorite games. I really haven't had a chance to play either one of these yet, but they go into the backlog of games that I need to play. But yeah, I love limited run games, and I love the fact that I get these games that were only released digitally, physical. So yeah, check these out if, well, you can't get these anymore, but maybe check them out digitally. Alright, so moving right along, I reckon we'll go ahead and do Wii next. And a big shout out, I usually don't do this, but Gaming Off the Grid makes some amazing videos. I watch their channel religiously. They are fantastic guys. They're very funny. They seem really genuine. Well, a little bit ago they did a video on Wii light gun games, which got me super stoked, and I've been buying a lot of the games that they mentioned in that video. So you'll see a couple of those in this lot. Also, go check out their channel if you haven't. They are fantastic, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you know who Gaming Off the Grid is. But yeah, so for the Wii, I got Donkey Kong Country Returns. I got the Mad Dog McCree Gunslinger Pack for the Wii, which is a light gun game that is so bad it's good. Another game, well, one of the games they featured on that video is House of the Dead Overkill. I played this for a little while, the very first time I ever played it, and this game is off the wall crazy. The voice acting and stuff is just so funny. So definitely play this if you get a chance. So next up, another great game, and play this if you get a chance. This is such a fun game to play 2 players, but we've got Mario Strikers Charged. So there's a version of this on the GameCube as well, but I really enjoy the Wii version of this, so I definitely highly recommend picking this up if you can. And it's not super expensive either. Alright, another light gun game that I picked up is Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles. I haven't had a chance to play this one yet, but judging by their game footage, this looks really, really good. And then last up on the Wii, for this month's, for this pickup video, is Red Steel. In my last pickups video, I picked up the second Red Steel game, so I figured why not go ahead and get the first one as well. But yeah, so that's 6 more games to add to my Wii collection. I probably picked up another 30 Wii games or so, but I didn't want to show them in this video because it's all just shovelware stuff. Because, like I said before in one of my previous pickup videos, I am casually going for a complete set of Wii games. But yeah, these are 6 of the more desirable games that I picked up. Alright, so moving right along, let's do GameCube next. I only have 3 GameCube games here, so there's not a whole lot to show. But, and this one's a throwaway title, but I got NHL 2004. Another not great game, but this one's actually pretty fun. I love rally racing games, but we got Pro Rally on the GameCube. And then a great game, and probably my favorite Mario Party game on the GameCube, we got Mario Party 7. So yeah, just 3 games in this pickup video for the GameCube, but I mean, who doesn't want to add a Mario Party? Anytime you can add a Mario Party game to your collection, you're doing good. Alright, moving right along, I got one Wii U game, which is interesting because I actually have a complete set of Wii U. I don't have all of the variants, but I have one of every single game that was released for the Wii U. And this was a variant that I didn't have. And I actually found this at Walmart for $12. And when I saw it for $12, I just couldn't pass it up. So for $12, I got for the Wii U, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the Amiibo Big Box version. So yeah, I'll leave this one sealed because, I mean, I've already got the game loose, so why not? And I've got this game on the Switch too, and that's probably the way I will play it if I want to play this game again. But yeah, pretty cool to get this for $12 sealed. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Wii U. Alright, so next up I'm going to show you some of the Xbox One and PS4 games that I picked up. I don't know if you guys know, but GameStop was doing one of those deals where every game $14.99 and under, you could get 3 for $25. So if you did that correctly, you could get about $45 worth of games for $25. So I mean, why not, right? I always jump on that deal when they run it, because I haven't picked up a lot of games for those systems, and I definitely want to beef up the collection when I can. And I got all these for $7.50 a piece. So we have Killer Instinct, the Codebreaker Edition. I'm a big fan of Killer Instinct, and this game is really good too. I played this a lot on the PC. So for the Xbox One, we have Dead or Alive 5, The Last Round. Once again, I'm a big fighting game fan, and I love the Dead or Alive games. So then the rest of these are PS4 games. For PlayStation VR, I got Gungrave VR. I got God of War Remastered, God of War 3 Remastered for the PS4. Another fighting game. I got Guilty Gear XRD Revelator. The Guilty Gear games are super fun, high-paced, great 2D fighting games. I got Gravel on the PS4. I know nothing about this, I've never played it, but it looks like a pretty fun racing game. And then last but not least on the PS4, I've never played this, but I've heard great things about this game. Rest in peace Telltale Games. But I've got The Wolf Among Us. A lot of people love this, and if you look at a lot of the big game reviewers, this game got great reviews across the board. So looking forward to playing that, and I enjoy the Telltale Games. I'm a sucker for a good story, what can I say? Alright, so moving right along, I started collecting a new retro console in the last couple weeks. I never had any of these games. I had this as a child and I enjoyed it, but as an adult, I just didn't have any games for the Sega CD. So I went ahead and started picking up some games in the last 2 weeks for the Sega CD. I've got 7 games here. So first up, I actually got this game in my Retro Game Treasure box last week, and I made a custom case for it and printed out some artwork because it was a loose disc only. But I got Jaguar XC220 for the Sega CD. It's not a bad racing game. I actually want to pick up a Sega CDX because I don't want to keep on pulling out that monstrosity of a Sega Genesis that, has a Sega CD hooked up to it. So a Sega CDX would be a good alternative. But yeah, Jaguar XC220 for the Sega CD. Next up is a game I got loose and I printed out some artwork and put it in a case. But we've got Tomcat Alley for the Sega CD. I think I got this shipped to my house for $4. So, why not? Alright, for the Sega CD, I've got Bram Stoker's Dracula. For the Sega CD, this has a big yellow sticker on the front of it I haven't taken off yet. But I've got Microcosm for the Sega CD. I got ESPN Sunday Night NFL. I got Surgical Strike for the Sega CD. So all those games are pretty much just filler titles, and this last one is probably, well, definitely the best game I picked up for the Sega CD, and probably the one that I would play the most out of all these games that I picked up. But I've got The Amazing Spider-Man versus the Kingpin on Sega CD. From all accounts that I hear, this is a good game to pick up on the Sega CD. And I know this is the most pricey game I picked up for the Sega CD. But I got a pretty good deal on this game too. I got this for about $10 cheaper than what price charting says it goes for complete. And this one is complete. So happy to add this definitely to the collection. Alright, so moving right along, I honestly did not pick up a whole lot of NES, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64 games. My last couple pickup videos, I've been getting a lot of those games. But what I did get mostly is really good. So we'll start with the Nintendo 64. I need to get some of this black marker off of it, but otherwise this game is fantastic. I've been playing this quite a lot. But we've got Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. But yeah, I love all of the Goemon games, so when I was able to get this, I was pretty happy. And like I said, this is a really fun game, so if you get a chance, play this game. Alright, for the NES, I got both of these games in my Retro Game Treasure box last week or so, but we've got WWF WrestleMania Challenge for the NES, and this was actually a duplicate. I had this game, but I did not mark it off my list, so it was my fault that they sent it to me. But I've got Double Dragon 2. But I mean, you know, I can trade this in or sell it on eBay. It'll be alright. It's a great game. I love Double Dragon 2. So yeah, nothing special, but those are the two NES games that I got to show. And then for the Super Nintendo, I only got 2 games for the Super Nintendo as well in the last couple weeks. But this was in my Retro Game Treasure box too, and I'm really happy to have this. It's a very interesting platformer, and it's pretty fun. But you got Michael Jordan's Chaos in the Windy City. I was really happy they sent this to me, and I'm happy to add it to my collection. But last but not least, probably my favorite game that I picked up between the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo, I got Saturday Night Slam Masters. But this is a great game. If you haven't played this, it's kind of a wrestling game, but it plays like a fighting game. The characters are over the top, the graphics are good, and the gameplay is great. But yeah, Saturday Night Slam Masters on the Super Nintendo. One of my favorite games I picked up over the last 2 weeks or so. Alright guys, that will about do it for this pickups video. If you don't mind, could you please like, comment, and subscribe? I would really appreciate it. And if you like this kind of content, look back through some of my previous videos. I've done quite a few pickup videos. And I guess I'm going to wrap this up right now. And until next time, guys, see you later.